Hey everybody, it's Janine here, and today we're going to be talking about utilizing the Homebuyers plan to fund your down payment from your RRSP. So to get started, I thought I'd first disclose that my husband and I did just buy a home a couple of months ago, and we both utilized the Homebuyers plan to pull money out of our RRSP. So what this plan does is it allows you to utilize the money in your RRSP that you have already contributed and allows you to pull this money out so that you can use it for your down payment. Now, the government did just change the rules. They've increased the home buyers plan from $25,000 to $35,000. So each individual can pull $35,000 out of their RRSP provided they have that money in there already, and they are able to use that for closing costs, furniture purchases, as well as their down payment. Now, the trick to this is you can't have owned a home in the previous 4 years. So you do need to be a relatively new home buyer or a home buyer that has not owned a home for a while. In addition to being a first-time home buyer, you must have a written agreement in place to purchase a home. So you can't just pull money out thinking that you're going to buy a home in the next few months. You actually need to have an offer signed and the intention of actually going through with that purchase to pull your funds out of the RRSP. Lastly, in terms of eligibility, you must ensure that you are planning on living in this residence and utilizing it as your principal residence within 1 year of the sale going through. So you can't use your RRSP and the homebuyers plan for an investment property within your city. Now, you're probably wondering how you go about withdrawing these funds, and it is pretty simple. You actually use a form T1036, which I will include in the comments and description section below, and you actually send this to your financial institution. Now, I have a number of RRSPs. I had one with a wealth management advisor, one with Quest Trade, and one with Wealthsimple, and I actually found that Wealthsimple was the easiest to pull money out of using the home buyers plan. And I think the company we were using for wealth management was the most challenging because you actually had to fax it in, which isn't great because it's 2019, not 1994, and no one has access to a fax machine. But regardless, we got our funds out actually within a couple of business days. So do make sure you are checking how long it takes to withdraw this money from your RRSP. As well, please obviously note to see if there are any fees associated from an administrative standpoint to pull money out of your RRSP, because in some cases there definitely will be. One thing to note is you do need to have the funds in your RRSP for at least 90 days before you go ahead and pull them out. So be careful with that, as they don't want people throwing $35,000 in their RRSP, claiming a deduction, and then pulling it out for purchasing a home 3 days later. So make sure that you are planning well in advance and that you have had that money in your RRSP for at least 90 days. This money, once you withdraw it, will just end up as a lump sum in your checkings account, and you can utilize it how you see fit. We personally used all of our home buyers plan funds to help fund our down payment. It wasn't the full amount of our down payment, but definitely helped us with a huge dent into our down payment. When it comes to repaying this money, because you do have to put that money back in your RRSP, you begin to repay this amount in the second year since you've had the money withdrawn from your RRSP. Now, you do have 15 years to put this money back into your RRSP. And if you take that on a monthly basis, you're looking at about $194 a month if you withdraw the maximum of $35,000. You're also going to be looking at about $2,300 a year. So if this seems daunting to you, maybe don't pull out all of the funds from your RRSP, because again, you do have to make sure that you are paying this amount back. If you don't make any repayments to your RRSP, you will have to include that amount that you aren't repaying as income on your income tax return, which means that you will be taxed on the full amount. So definitely something that we want to avoid. We want to be growing our wealth tax deferred within our RRSP for the long term. So it is really important to make sure that you are paying that amount back. One of the great things about the Homebuyers plan is all of the information is available on your CRA Online account. So if you haven't signed up for CRA Online, you definitely should, but you're also able to track this information on the online portal and see how you're doing in terms of repaying. In addition to this, tax softwares like Simple Tax will help you calculate how much you need to ensure that you are repaying on a yearly basis, and will help you optimize what the best plan is for you when it comes to repaying this amount. Overall, when I look at whether we were going to pull money out of our TFSA or our RRSPs, it definitely made sense for us to pull money out of our RRSPs so we could continue to let our funds in our TFSA grow tax-free, which is the true power of the TFSA. And we will continue to max out our TFSAs on an annual basis. So again, having $63,000 each that can grow tax-free is really beneficial when it comes to growing your wealth. And so that's why we made the decision to pull money out of our RRSP when it came time to purchase a home. Obviously, if you don't need to pull money out of your RRSP and you have a large enough lump sum available to you in a savings account, that's a great way to ensure that you don't have to deal with any of the repayment rules and that you aren't taking away from your future returns in your RRSP. If you have any questions about the Homebuyers plan, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next week.